Hey there, Mr. Kyle at Myers Mathematics. Today we're going to talk about factoring. We're doing a series on factoring. Today is day 1 of the series. So check it out. All I'm going to do is give you problems answered to your factoring needs. So we're going to do 4 problems today. If you want the details for the factoring series, you can check them out on my other video that I put out last Friday. But check it out. So here's what we do. X squared. We're going to do this problem right here. X squared plus x minus 2. And the negative version of that, you'll see what I mean in a second, and then x squared plus x minus 6, and of course the negative version of that. So altogether, those are 4 problems for today, as promised. So here we go. Let's dive in. First one, x squared plus x minus 2. All right, so the deal here is, since there's nothing in front of x squared, all I need to do is just worry about the negative 2 here. And you do need to make sure you clue that negative. It's super important. So the only 2 things that multiply to give me 2 are 2 and 1, right? Unless it's, fraction, decimal, that sort of thing. But as far as whole numbers and integers and that go, just be 2 and 1. But we need to get negative 2 when we multiply, so that means one of these has to be negative. Well, if I make the 2 negative, right? If I make this negative and this positive, then I try to put these together as in like add or subtract. That's going to be negative 2 plus 1, which is negative 1. That doesn't work. I want to get x. Well, not just that. How many x's? I have 1 x here, right? So I want to get a 1 when I multiply, when I add or subtract. And I don't get that. I get negative 1. The signs are super important. So I need that to be a plus and that to be a minus for this to work. Then I can just throw x's in front and call it a day. And I've just factored it. That's it. So let's move on to the next one. It's really, really similar. It's basically the opposite of the other one. It's minus x minus 2. So same 2 things multiplied to give you 2, right? 2 and 1. But this time we want to get negative 1. So this time we want the 2 to be negative, right? If it was positive, it would be the other way around. Now negative 2 plus 1, got to check it, is negative 1. Boom, there we go. And then x and x. Speaking of checking it, you can check these, and I would recommend doing this if you were on a test, checking these to make sure that they multiply back out. In this case, it would be called foiling, right? There's 2 in each, so it would go foiling, first, outer, inner, last. Multiply the first 2 numbers, you get x squared. Multiply the outer numbers, you get x. Inner numbers, you get negative 2x, which then combines to give you negative 1x. And then multiply the last 2 numbers, negative 2 times 1 to get negative 2. So it all checks out. All right, let's look at the next one then. We're almost done. X squared plus x minus 6. Well, this time there's not just one set of things to multiply to give 6. 1 times 6 is 6, right? But if I multiply and I make one of these negative because I have to, that's not going to give me 1 when I subtract, is it? Negative 1 plus 6, that's going to give me 5. So that's not going to work. Well, let's keep going. You don't have to erase. You don't have to, scratch it out or anything. If you're using a pen or a pencil, you don't have to. You can just leave it. Just make another one under it. 2 times 3 is also 6, isn't it? So what if I make 2 negative and 3 positive? Would that work? Negative 2 plus 3? Yeah, that gives me 1. So we're done. There you go. All right, and then for this last one. So the pen that I have here, it's a little thicker. I can tone down the thickness a little bit, but it's still going to be a little thick, but it's okay. I'll just use it because I like the color of it. So the last one is x squared minus x minus 6. So really similar to the one we just did, right? I can go ahead and skip the 1 and the 6, right? Because whether you subtract it negative 1 plus 5 or 5 minus 1, whatever, you're going to get, or 6 and 1, I mean, you're going to get 5, either 5 or negative 5 if you subtract. So I'll just skip straight to the 2 and the 3. We know those are going to give me 1 when I subtract. It's just that I need negative 1 now. So I need the 3 or the bigger number, right? Because when you subtract, the bigger number takes the sign. Sorry, so 2 minus 3, I'm subtracting, I'm going to get negative 1. Throw some x's in front, and then I'm done. And that's it. So this has been Mr. Kyle at Myers Mathematics. You can check out my website at myersmathematics.com. Later.